the tripods were really, like, they were a help when we used the cameras, because all of our shots were sturdy, and it's easy to get, obviously, a straighter shot when you use them.
I think the annoying thing about the cameras, though, is because they're not like proper like high-tech equipment or whatever. They pick up every little sound, and when you're editing it, you can really notice the change of shots if you've moved the camera quite a big distance, because it picks up loads of different sounds, which I found quite annoying.
I also didn't like the fact that, like, the tripods are good to an extent, but sometimes when you come to thrillers you want a kind of wobbly effect, and it's hard to create that with hand.
Yeah.
It should be something that you can...
It looks shaky, doesn't it?
Yeah.
In terms of filming, we faced some difficulties in that we had 2 sets of filming, so for the second time we needed to make sure that every little prop and costume was exactly the same as it was before.
Yeah.
And the tripod was at the same height.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that we could like keep the setting and everything, keep the atmosphere.
Yeah.
When we first started filming, the place that we filmed, obviously we did it like at night to give it like the
Eerie.
connotations of like horror and thriller films.
Yeah.
And it was very dark in the place, in the location we were shooting, so we had to like make our minds up of whether to use a torch, like shining on the characters, or just turn the lights on. And in the end we turned the lights on because the torch weren't bright enough, but when the lights went on it added to the eerie effect, because it helped our storyline flow.
Because it's like fluorescent light in there, so we were quite lucky that it was the sort of lighting that
it created an effect. It wasn't too bright.
But going back to about having to film twice, we because there was a few difficulties, like when you go and do it you have to get everything exactly the same, and
Yeah, make sure the same camera, same tripod.
and the second time Riley actually wore a different coat, didn't we?
Because
So we had to make sure that we didn't get the coat in the shots, so you wouldn't notice that.
Because our location was quite hard to get to, so like, and because it was obviously a school night as well, we found it difficult to get the same stuff there with the same people, like just to
What's the word?
make the process flow.
Yeah, definitely.
Unfortunately, we didn't get to use new equipment to enhance our thriller, i.e. the dolly and extra equipment, what would make our film a lot easier. We had to, all we used was a tripod and a camera. So
What we also found when we were editing our clips was there was no real means of technology, because we either had, for sound, we had to use either what we'd shot on the camera or the sound effects, which were on the computer, and they're a bit of a joke, really, weren't they?
They were
they're like cartoony.
Yeah, they're very cartoony, which makes it's not appropriate for a serious thriller.
Yeah.
We tried to avoid a lot of effects because they didn't look good. They looked unprofessional.
Yeah.
But in the end, we did use a couple of things such as fade and dissolve, and we used a few sounds as well, like bang.
Yeah.
And
quite good actually,
yeah.
I thought.
But anything else wouldn't have sounded right and wouldn't have fit the setting.
I think the fades and the dissolves that we used, I think they were quite good, but we didn't want to do anything too silly, because we'd like researched a few thrillers on YouTube and that before, like what people had done in the past, and when they used the like techniques, like what are they called?
Fades, dissolves.
No, them were good, but the other ones.
There's
stars and like,
there's stars and there's like ones that come in.
Yeah, those sort of transitions, they just look so bad. So we try to avoid anything too complicated.
It's just, it takes all like the serious aspect of the thriller out of it once you use them things, I feel.
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, with the editing software we use, it's quite an old one on the market, and yeah, there's a lot more newer, better editing software out there, and unfortunately we
couldn't afford that.
Yeah, the financial
aspect
of it coming to it with the school, so the software we used was quite a bit older and we weren't able to use all the features of one of the newer software.
But I did learn quite a bit on Pinnacle though, like I've now know how to cut clips, move clips about.
Split clips.
It had the sound effects when we had the crashing.
Split clips was important when we were doing parallel editing.
Yeah, that was very.
Yeah,
we needed that.
And I liked it was like a parallel editing theme, which was like a detective and the killer washing his hands. Gangster.
The killer washing
And the killer washing his hands, and I just think that it really added to like an eerie atmosphere of the film, and it was a good establishing few shots. Although the first 6 seconds did have to get cut because of once again a corrupt photo off our
when we were trying to burn it.
Pinnacle Studios. So
blame them.
the first 6 seconds isn't actually right, but it still turned out to be quite a good piece in the end.
There was more sort of parallel editing at the beginning originally, but
So to summarise, we've learned a lot about technologies, as like we've had to use them a lot in the making of our thriller. But yeah, some of the tips we've learned, but other things about technology have actually like caused us problems as well.
yeah.